Alright, so yesterday did a video on what I think the opening night roster is going to be. It's already got 14 views. I think probably 6 of those are just from like my family, but it still counts as views. Today we're going to do essentially point projection, which I talked about a little bit yesterday. We're going to do point projection. Let's turn this fan down a bit. There we go. So yeah, we're gonna do point projection. What I've done on here, my whiteboard again. Essentially, I've put up top. It's kind of a jumbled mess, but up top, I've only listed the forwards that really had any kind of points last year. I'm not putting in Yamamoto or any of those guys because they have nothing to compare to really last year. So in the simplest way of doing this, I think, is we'll just start with the left wing. So Aberg last year had 16 points. I didn't talk about Aberg yesterday. I don't really think he's going to be on the team, but if he does, I think he'll put about that same amount, 15, 16 points. Drake Azula's got 20 last year. Again, just so we're clear, these bottom numbers are basically what I think the Oilers need to do in order to get back to the playoffs. So, I'll talk about each individual player briefly, but not all of these numbers are going to be exact. But anyways, yeah, Drake Azula, I think he needs to get to at least 23 points. I mean, I'd like to see him get higher, but I think we've seen enough of him to understand that what we have with him is a depth player, and that's fine. That's who he is. Jujhar Khaira, I could see him going up to 25 points. I mean, he took strides forward last year. He's still young. The guy can fight, which is something that we haven't had in a while, like a true guy that can, get in there and piss some people off. So I think he gets up to 25 points. I think that's more than doable. Lucic last year, 34 points. This is the biggest one. He's my biggest bounce back guy. There's no way he struggles as bad as he did in that last half. Even if he does basically the same concept where he does really good at the beginning and slugs off, I think that's likely going to happen. So I have him at 48 points. I think that's fair. He's 30. He's not that old. 30's not that old. So I do think he bounces back this year. Biggest improvement, in all truthfulness, it is probably going to be Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. I think if he's pegged on the line with McDavid the whole year, I think he's got a good chance of getting 70 plus points. I haven't pegged in at 74. It's not really a bounce back year for him, but it'll be a career year. Centers, I mean, McDavid last year at 108. I haven't pegged at 120. The only way he gets to 120 or plus is if they figure out the power play. If McDavid, McDavid's game actually went up when he started playing with Nuge as well. So I think, he gets to 120 points next year if the power play figures their stuff out. If not, he's easily going to be over 100 points, barring any injuries. Kyle Brodziak, last year 33 points. Obviously none of it with the Oilers. I think he's probably on the Oilers. A couple of factors. If they sign Upshall, I think he goes up into the 33 mark again. If he doesn't, I still think he's right around the 30 point mark. Leon Draisaitl had 70 points last year. I think he'll get to 70 points again this year. I think he'll be 75. Again, barring any injuries. He was hurt last year. Some people are really dumping on Draisaitl. I think Draisaitl's contract's actually a value contract. Compared to what other people are getting paid. Like, look at Evander Kane. I can't believe they signed him, but they isn't the Sharks. So I think Draisaitl gets 75 points. Ryan Strome, I think he pretty much stays par, 33, 34 points. I think that's what we get with Ryan Strome. Right wing, Zach Kassian. He's kind of a disappointment. I guess not really, but he is. I mean, we saw him in the playoffs do what he can do, and last year was kind of a letdown, albeit for everybody, but still. I think he stays right at that 20 point mark. I think his peak was that playoff run, and from there it's kind of downhill. Puljujarvi at 20 points. I've got him pegged at 35 this year. 20 of them being goals. It's the only guy that I'm going to touch on goals. I think Puljujarvi gets 20 goals this year because he has to. The only advantage to Puljujarvi having another down year is cheaper to re-sign him for a couple of years, but I would much rather him break out this year. And apparently he's been working out a lot and has a lot of good things going for him. So I've got him at 35. Ty Ratty, I mean, only had 9 points last year, but he was playing on the top line, 9 in, I think, 14 games, which is not horrible. I've got him at 33 because I don't think he stays on that first line the whole year. I think he's in and out of the lineup. I think when he comes into the lineup, he's playing on that first line. There's some talk about him, he'll play on the fourth line with, Brodziak and Upshaw, or something like that. Well, first of all, Upshaw's not even on the team yet, and Ty Ratty's never been able to produce at the NHL level anywhere. This is the first time that he's had some kind of consistency. Maybe he's a late bloomer, I don't know, but I would love for Ty Ratty to work out on that first line. It gives us a value contract on that first line who can put up some points. So anyways, I got him at 33. And Tobias Rieder, I got him an increase of 10 because he was playing on an LA team that has never really been an offensive threat. Obviously, he's played with Arizona as well, which is not an offensive threat. I've got him up to 35 points. I think that's realistic because I think he'll spend some time with Leon as well. And obviously, Leon is going to make Rieder a better player, and probably vice versa. I mean, Rieder's only 25, so... So overall, last year they had a total of 457 points, not goals, but points throughout this roster. If this was their roster going in, I'm not accounting into defense because Nurse still has to get signed. There's pending trade rumors, things like that. I'll work on the defense another day, basically. But out of the forward groups, I think is the biggest difference. 457 last year. I have them needing at least 566 points out of their forward groups. If they don't get that, I don't see them making the playoffs. I mean, these can be divided up a little bit, but I mean, I really like Nugent Hopkins. There's no reason he can't perform at that high level. If Lucic doesn't bounce back, maybe some of his points get divided up between. Truthfully, I don't see Aberg making the team for very long, but if he does, maybe he puts up 15 points. Sure, great. All of this doesn't matter if Cam Talbot doesn't stop the puck. At the end of the day, we can score as many goals as we want, but if we don't get the goaltending out of either Talbot or Koskinen, we're hooped. So I think this is realistic. I think there's areas where even McDavid might even get more than 120 if that power play really, really clicks. But for now, I think this is fair. Again, I don't have Yamamoto. I don't have Benson in here. I've just got the guys that I pretty much, were on the roster last year, right? So, yeah, I think if we're going to talk defense on this team, realistically, I touched on it a little bit yesterday. I think Klefbom's probably your best offensive guy. I don't think that that's going to change this year. I mean, Nurse might take some strides forward, but it's one of the reasons I didn't really touch on the defense here is because it's a little bit complex. It's kind of jumbled. We don't really know who's going to go where. And yesterday when I projected the lines, I was as close as it's going to get, but I don't want to start, talking about the defense until we know that no trades really are going to be coming in here. So I think we're getting close to that point. But yeah, so this is kind of my projection for the Oilers. If they are going to make the playoffs, they need this number to be up. And I think this is all realistic for all of these players, barring any injuries. McDavid gets hurt, we're done. So, I don't see him getting hurt, but again, we'll see what happens there. So, I'll probably be making another video here. I'm going to be ranking the Canadian teams. That's going to probably draw some, I guess, complications. I'm probably gonna piss some people off with that one, but nonetheless, that's gonna be my next video here. So, yeah, thanks for watching.